All right, today we're going to be doing the injectors in a 1986 C4 Corvette. I'm going to try to explain the whole process, and I'm not going to waste your time, so let's get into it. These are the injectors I picked up from A-Cell. I think these are 26 pounds, which is just over stock. I think stock is 24 or 22. I could not find another one. They were all unavailable, and I need this car to run, so we're going to stick it in there. It might need a tune. We'll figure it out. So basically what we have here is the tune port injection. Like I said, this is 1986. I think some of the other C4s had a different intake, but the biggest thing we're going to have to contend with here is probably the throttle position cable and the cruise control here. I'd recommend taking pictures of everything, obviously, before you start. As you can see, our fuel rail is down here. We're going to have to basically take off this entire system here to get to our injectors right down in there. So all we have to do is slide this off. It's on a little peg, and then we will go ahead and we'll remove that. Looks like to be a 10 millimeter. Of course, you're gonna have to have a box end for this because you can't get a socket on there. Another thing I'd recommend is to not do it while your engine is hot. All right, so we got this one loose, and I don't know if you can see it back there, but oh, there it is. That one right there, that needs to come out, and then this whole piece here will be free, and then we'll just have to take that out. Nope, my mistake. There's one more right up there. You can see it. I think the easiest thing to do here is just to remove our throttle body. That way we don't have to mess with all these linkages. We got 4 bolts, 2 on this side, 2 on the other. You have your throttle position sensor, and I think that would be, yeah, your crankcase vent. So probably best to just pull all that off, pull the intake off, and then set this over to the side. That way you don't have to mess with all these cables. We got clips right here, 1 clip on this side, pop it off, 1 clip on that side. And then we have our airflow sensor. Here's what the front looks like. We got 1 there, 1 there, 1 down there, and of course that one right here. That's gonna be the one. It's a pain to get to. I already loosened these. Obviously, before we take this off, we're gonna have to remove this line here. Obviously, your throttle position sensor. And we got 1 more sensor right here. So I'll start by taking this off. Gotta go ahead and unplug this. Oh, we have a second line here as well. This one has a detent on the bottom half. So you get your screwdriver under there and pop it off. This hose here has a screw on it. Okay. We actually have 2 more lines that I didn't see previously. There's another coolant line for the return, and there's this little air line right here for vacuum. All right, so we finally got that off. That lower coolant hose was it's hard to get off of there, but it's off now. So we'll go ahead and set this to the side. Now we can start working on our bolts up here. They are Torx. I'll get the size here in a second. All right, these are size T40. I haven't really rusted up one. It should be fine. We also have 2 vacuum lines right here on the passenger side. We're going to pop those off. Let's bust out the 10 again. That's tight. This stud also acts like an intake screw. After all those are out, you got those 4 here, 4 on the passenger side. After all of them are out, you should be able to break it free. To ease the disassembly, I'm going to go ahead and pull off this cover. That's for the distributor. Mine has 2 flatheads and a Torx bit. Yours will probably have all Torx bits, I would assume. All right. You do have 1 sensor. So we have to get to focus. There's 1 sensor right there on the underside. You need to unplug that before you go pulling on your intake. Also, if you look closely, if I can pull this up, you see that right there? I don't know if you can see that hose right here. That hose, you're gonna have to pull that hose off if you want your intake to come off. This hose is a 5/8. There we go, break it loose. All right, I've got it loose. You should be able to unthread it. It's off of there now, and we should be able to pull that hose out. Yep. All right, now that everything's out of the way, we can finally get to our fuel rails. Got our fuel rails, and we're gonna probably have to take these off. You can see that right here. There's one on this side. There's another one here, I believe. And there's just a bunch of stuff you got to keep taking off just to get the injectors. And it's possible, well, it'd be difficult. Well, you're still gonna have to take this off to get to the injectors. So we're just gonna go ahead and remove this fuel line. It's gonna be easiest if we disconnect our return and our fill line. Take those off first. We got 2 bolts here, 2 bolts in the back, and that should be able to allow us to pull this off of there. All right, so we got 2 5/8 lines here. I'm gonna go ahead and do it with the box end. There are specific tools, I believe, for this, but box end works just fine. Although you wouldn't have to, you could use one of them brake line tools. But box end works just fine. There we go. We have one, another T40 right here, and then it looks like the rest are 10 millimeters. This is that T40. I'll take that back. There's 2. There's one under here too. A little overkill for a fuel rail in my opinion, but I'm not an engineer. Go ahead and pull the rails off. Of course, you can't get to these with the socket. One last one here. So these are pushed down on an injector, so you're gonna have to give it a little pop. Pop it off from the injectors. Have one more hose to disconnect. Right here. You see this one right here? Just able to break it loose with a 3/4 inch box end. Just gotta work it off there. I'm gonna disconnect all these injectors. Once all these injectors are off, we'll work on pulling this completely out of the way. These are pretty simple connectors. Basically, you push in on this lever back here, right here. Push in and pull up. All right, so when it's on there, press in, pull up. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and try to remove this side. That will give us a little more space. This side is gonna be challenging to get off. I think this side will be a little easier. We can pull this side off. We got 1 bolt on this back side. Also a Torx. Also, there's no clearance to get to it. That's gonna be fun. Should be one right down here. You can see right in there. Right here, that's one. And we have one. Where is it at? It's right here. Right there. Right under there. And it's 1, 2, 3. One more right there. As usual, you got to get stuff out of the way. To get stuff out of the way, gonna have to take this off. I've already loosened it. Taking this off so we can get to that right there. All right, let's hope you can see this here. Oh, yeah, look at that. Easy. All I had to do was take it all apart. The General Motors surprise. Yep, there's two more. One under this runner and one under those two. All the way up under there. All right, here goes hoping. Oop, that sounded good. Check it out. Oh, at last. Now we have plenty of room. Well, plenty of room in quotations to access our fuel rail. Give up, you're gonna lose. There it goes. I really don't want to have to take this off, but we may have to. Well, it's kind of wishful thinking that we couldn't take this, that we could take this rail off without taking this off. So we're gonna have to go ahead and pull off 4 more of those torques. This one is all the way back under there, all the way right there. I don't even think you can see it. It's all the way down there. I'm not even sure how I'm gonna get it off. Okay, so I didn't actually get to it. I was able to pull this back enough that I could pop this rail out. So now it's free. And of course there's a vacuum leak right there, which I just created, I believe. So that's, well. So now that we've got them off, you can see what our problem was here. Look at that. That injector cup is completely destroyed, as is this one. These are on our back 2 cylinders. All right, so here on the workbench, I will show you, we have a pin right there. Basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your flathead, you're gonna push this around. If I can do it one-handed. So you're gonna take it, you see this right here. You're gonna push this around. All right, just like that. This is what the clips look like. So you're gonna wanna line this and this gap up with the gap in your rails here. Take you off. You see that right there and that right there. You want this gapped so you have your slot where you can just pull this straight up off. All right, so for reassembly, you want to slide your clip back on to your new fuel injector. Just like that. And we can go ahead and stick this back in and turn the clip to lock it. Once it's in, just repeat 8 times and you'll be ready to reinstall. I've got all 4 of them in now, or all 8 of them, excuse me. There is a big storm coming, so I'm gonna try to get this done. It's quite dark outside, so hopefully I can still get some good video. All right, this is gonna be a reverse process. Yep. Sneak under there, come on. Hey, looks like we actually may have done it here. I think we did it. That looks like it's cross-threading. That's perfect. Definitely cross-thread. All right, let's put the intake back on. It's just a pain. It's a pain upon pains. Oh my gosh. All right, fish it in there. Make sure you're putting all your gaskets back on. Welcome to Chris's internal UPS supply.
You just make a PC power supply. It's got a UPS built in.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put our fuel lines back in, if they'll fit. We can screw down our fuel rail.
How's that leaking fuel?
It's a mad siphon, dude. The thing is like siphoned like crazy.
The gas cap is open?
Not really a trunk.
Oh, it's the gas tank. So the gas tank is higher than the engine.
Gravity feed is illegal. For that reason right there.
At least in modern cars.
Yeah. All right, I know it's dark. We're running out of light. We ran out of light. About to put this in. If you took this off, make sure it goes back. All right, so just remember where everything goes. That goes to your throttle body. And that right there is one of your coolant lines for your throttle. That's a hose for your throttle. You got these two air lines and this sucker back there. Don't forget these two bolts either. These are the short ones. The little short ones. Okay.
This one has
All right.
thread lock on it or
4
something?
bolts. 4 bolts on this side. Your pointed one there, your long pointed one in the middle. One bolt below, one bolt here, and one bolt right there. Remember that sensor right there. Don't forget it.
Are you broke? I could just 3D print you a TPU tube.
Oh man. We actually could just grab some Bowden tube.
That is true.
Make sure we screw in our throttle cables. These are those really small ones. These are these ones, really short ones. Remember, you got 3 of them. So if you don't have 3 of them in your parts bucket, you're gonna have a problem. All right, remember, this is your mass airflow, or MAP. I don't remember which one it is on this vehicle. We have throttle position. We have another sensor right there. We have our PCB.
We'll be done in 6 minutes.
And coolant line right there. All right, and just like that, what, like 6 hours? She's all back together.